Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachachodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and Shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. I am the brother Kalaba from the GMS UK, London Forecasters Camp, coming back at you with another lesson to help edify those of which I spoke of. So this lesson is going to be a continuation of the topic I was getting into in regards to the Most High being in control of the issues of infertility in women. And as I was just reading, there's a little bit more to Sarai's account, because in the previous lesson we were dealing with Sarai, Abraham's wife, how she in her late years of life, I think she was in her 90s, was able to conceive and bear Abraham a son who was named Isaac. And Isaac is a very important character in the genealogy, because it's through Abraham then unto Isaac that the chosen seed line is called. The blessings that were bestowed upon Abraham went on to his son Isaac, and then later on it will go further on to Isaac's son Jacob, which we'll get into in a bit. But let me just first read this. This is Genesis chapter 21 verse 1. And the Lord Yahweh visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord Yahweh did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time when the Most High had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac. And his name means laughter. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as the Most High had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said, the Most High have made me to laugh, so that all who hear will laugh with me. Yeah, because as I was going into in the previous lesson, it's a very heavy burden for a woman psychologically to be barren, meaning fruitless, meaning that she can't conceive children, because deep down at a woman's core, their whole purpose is to bring forth children unto their husband. We read it in Genesis 3, I believe, verse 16 yesterday, but we'll go into it again just for edification's sake. Yeah, this is it. Genesis 3 and verse 16. This is the purpose and role of a woman. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So that's the purpose of a woman, to serve her husband and to bring forth children. If you note in this verse, it says husband as in singular, not husbands as in plural, because a lot of women these days have multiple men that they deal with, have sexual encounters with. But according to the law of the Bible, a woman is supposed to only have one sexual partner, and that is her husband, because according to the Bible, the act of sex is indeed marriage in itself, Anyway, let's go back to Genesis 21. Genesis 21 verse 6 again. And Sarah said, the Most High have made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. Yeah, because that was a great story of the Most High blessing someone in a situation where they thought they'd never receive that blessing, because Sarah lived into her 90s, never having conceived children. But then in her twilight years, the Most High allowed her womb to open, and she was able to have the strength to conceive the child. So that in itself was a spiritual, very spiritual thing, a very spiritual act on the part of the Most High, because most women, once they hit their menopause, it's game over. They ain't bearing no children after that. Their body completely shuts down in that aspect, in that regard. That's why, as I said in yesterday's lesson, women know that they're on a biological clock. They don't have all the time in the world. Whereas a man can bring forth children as long as he lives, so long as he's not injured in his private parts. If he's a healthy man, he can produce, sperm cells for all the days of his life after he hits puberty. But women, they've got a very short window of opportunity in which they're able to conceive and bear children. Right, so let's keep going on. What's more it saying this? What does it say? There's not much I need to get into that. So I want to get into the account of Isaac and Rebekah. So Isaac grew up and he took Rebekah as his wife. So this would be in Genesis 25. Bear with me. There we go. This is the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And when Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram, the sister to Laban the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. See, again, I told you in yesterday's lesson, it's the Most High who openeth and closeth the womb. So when Rebekah's womb wasn't opening for her to conceive and bear seed, Isaac done the spiritual thing and entreated the Lord for his wife. You know, he made prayers to the Lord, maybe built an altar and done sacrifices to the Lord. And then Rebekah, his wife, conceived, so she was able to bear a child, right? After this point. And it says, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord Yahweh, meaning that the two children that were in her belly, they were making all kinds of chaos, because those two spirits were at enmity with each other, because those two spirits are the spirits of Cain and Abel coming back through the reincarnation, because reincarnation is indeed biblical, right? So the children were struggling together within her womb. And verse 22, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord Yahweh, meaning that she went to consult a prophet. And the Lord Yahweh said unto her, through the mouth of the prophet, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau, meaning that his blood showed forth through his skin. It doesn't mean that Esau was a hairy baby. It just means that because back in those days, it was accustomed to have garments dyed red. So basically, he was as red as one of those hairy garments, but he was a smooth baby with red skin. Although in later life, Esau became a hairy man. But, he didn't come out the womb, looking all, I don't know, like a bear or something. No, he came out looking like a regular Edomite baby born would look today. But he became a hairy man later in life. And they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Now, it doesn't give a description of what Jacob looked like, because Jacob looked like every other person at that time that was, from that line, being dark-skinned. Most of the people on the earth were dark-skinned at that time. It was Esau that was born with the curse of leprosy, which is why he came out looking that way, because that goes back to the mark that was put upon Cain in Genesis 4. That was the mark of leprosy, to be a clean leper. So the point I want to emphasize on this lesson is it says that in Genesis 25 and 26, it says that Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So let's do the maths. That means that a score is 20. So 80 equals 60. Now, if we go back into this account, it says that Rebekah conceived when Isaac was 40. Yep. Genesis 25 and 20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife. So if you take 40 and she conceived at the age of 6 when Isaac was 60, that means for 20 years they were trying to conceive children and Rebekah's womb was closed. Think about that. That's 20 years of trying to conceive and bear a child and not being able to. But then ultimately, once the Most High was entreated, what did he do? He opened up Rebekah's womb and she conceived. So again, that proves the point that the issues of infertility in a woman all stem from the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. He's the one that can open a woman's womb and he's the one that can close a woman's womb. So these biblical accounts should be an inspiration to women in the sense that these issues are in the hand of the Most High, and prayer and obedience to Him can, the Most High can show favor upon your situation and make you conceive when Esau's doctors say, no, it's not possible. These are some of the miracles of the scriptures, and we believe in these things through faith. We believe in these things through faith. And these are why these scriptures are written, because they're supposed to be examples of faith, of the Most High doing incredible things for His people, because, but these stories are meant to be recited in the ears of our children and our children's children and our children's children's children, so that we remember the power of the Lord we serve. Nothing's impossible with the Most High. So I'm going to end this lesson here because this is that's it on the account of Rebekah. In the next lesson, Lord willing, I'll go into some other accounts of women who, again, were made barren by the Lord, but then eventually the Most High had mercy and allowed their wombs to open, and they were able to conceive and bear children. So, Lord willing, that lesson was edifying. So with that, I want to once again give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of great millstone that rule well. And shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. And I'll catch you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom for now.